Hi, my darlings, I'm Sophie Darling, and welcome back to the channel. If you love anime, heartfelt reactions, and deep dives into symbolism and themes, then you're in the right place. Before we jump into today's reaction, don't forget to hit that like button to show some love, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a moment of fun. And if you want even more exclusive content like early access to my reactions, full-length anime watch-alongs, and an amazing community of fellow anime lovers, please do check out my Patreon. You can find a link in the description box below. Your support truly means the world as it helps keep these reactions coming, and I'd love to have you join our cozy little anime family. Today we are reacting to episode 18 of series 4 of Attack on Titan, and oh my god, things are ramping up rapidly. We don't know if the gang are going to go and defend Eren, but I think they are kind of going to inevitably do so because they do care for him. I think as much as they are hurt and feel betrayed, they're not going to allow Eren to die solely for the simple fact that Eren is what stands between the rest of the world and war, wiping out paradise. It's the threat of Eren and the threat of the rumbling that keeps the world at bay. So if they lose him, paradise is doomed. So they kind of have no other choice but to step in. But I can understand why they're angry and their hesitation, because again, why should they have to sacrifice their lives for Eren? But ultimately, it's not really sacrificing your lives for Eren at this point. It's sacrificing your lives to protect your people from being ethnically cleansed. Because as much as I don't agree with the Jaegerists, I do agree that Eren is the bet for Aldia's future, for humanity's future, and they kind of can't allow Eren to just be taken out of the picture for now. So they have to step in, but we didn't get a confirmed answer as to whether they were going to do so. We know that Mikasa was going to, but that didn't come as a shock. Mikasa would not allow Eren to die or risk dying, but bar Armin, the others are a bit hesitant. So I think they're going to step in. I can't see them not doing it because, again, they're more concerned with protecting Aldia more so than protecting Eren. But to protect Aldia means protecting Eren. So they're intrinsically linked and they're aware of that. Zeke is on the move. We don't know how far Zeke is away from actually meeting up with Eren, so we could get the rumbling very, very soon. We are getting the rumbling. We know that for a fact, but it could be any episode now. And I am on the edge of my seat waiting for that to happen. It's going to be horrendous. It's going to be an absolute massacre of numerous people, and we know that for a fact because how can you control these colossal titans? You can't. People, so many people are going to die. So many people are going to die. But what other option is there? And that's sort of the hard place that you find yourself in. Like Armin, I very much was arguing the route of, well, peace talks, diplomacy. But that requires time, and they don't have time when the rest of the world has ganged up against them. But maybe they have more time than they realize because everything's being rushed, everything's being pushed forward. But Marley is here, but the rest of the world isn't. You almost have to question, could they have pushed further for diplomacy, pushed harder for peace talks? Could there have been alternative ways than the rumbling? Because it feels very much like they latched onto it. But I know that the early episodes kind of just showed that there was really very few options. Eren felt that he had no choice but to go to Marley and do what needed to be done after they declared war upon paradise. Because every solution that they seemed to have was shot down. Every avenue they explored fell short. So I think Eren just got to the point of realizing that there really isn't any other choice. He has to do this. And you can see him trying to find other ways because he doesn't want to do this, but I think his arm is twisted essentially. If the world's not willing to cooperate with him, why should he cooperate with the world? So I can understand where Eren's coming from. And again, I think I maybe need therapy. I'm going to be an Eren defender till the day I die. I think I make so many excuses and justifications for him, but that's because I don't think he is a bad person. I think he's a morally grey anti-hero. I think he's an anti-hero. I've said that from day one of series 1 that Eren was going to go on an anti-hero trajectory, and I very much will die on that hill that everything he does is for the sole benefit of humanity, not just for the audience, but for humanity as a whole, to put a stop to the war and violence altogether. And I think in his mind, the only way to do that is to wipe out half the population, which is probably what the rumbling is going to do, because how do you control it? You can't. It's going to cause mass devastation. But in the wake of that devastation, a new world could possibly be rebuilt and new order could be established, but we won't know till we see. And without further ado, I'm going to stop talking so I can actually watch episode 18 because I need to see what happens next, especially because Eren seems like he's cornered, but I think he has a plan in place. So without further ado, let's get into episode 18.
エルディア人が子供を作れなくなることをエレンが望んでるってみんな本気でそう思ったの？
確かに奴らしくないとは思ったが、ありえないことだとまでは。
ありえないだろ、あのエレンだよ。
じゃあなんでジークやイエレナに逆らわないんだよ。
断ればイエレナはどんな手段を使ったかわからない。だが
Yelena's loyalties to Zeke, so if she feels like Eren's not going to comply with Zeke, she's not going to help him. She would work against him. Again, I think Eren's been manipulating Yelena and Zeke this whole time, and they haven't clicked on. Can I take the children and go? I have to protect them.
訓練兵の時から奴は危険だと言ってきた。エレンはみんなを地獄に導くクソ野郎で。
You did, and technically you're in the midst of hell.
俺は寝たんだ。死ぬほどムカつくことだから。俺はまだ奴に死んでほしくねえ。
Look at Jean owning up to his jealousy. Proud of him.
このまま死なれたら。あいつをぶん殴れねえしな。
They have so many things they need to settle with him.
エレンが真意を隠しているとし
To
て
protect them.
私たちを突き放すのはどうしてなの？私のことが嫌いって。
Because you're his cherished comrades and he loves you. That's why.
向こうにいる敵。
Will we finally be free?
俺たち自由になれるのか？
無理やりついた嘘だからね。エレンに全て終わった後で聞いてみたらいい。
It's not true. He cares for them. I think he cares for them so much. He doesn't want them to die. He pushes them away.
エレン。
The OST this series is phenomenal. It's been so good in every other series, but there's something about this series that just blows it out the water.
これ以上苦しまなくていい。なぜ赤く。
I feel like he's biding time. Oh, the music. I'm gonna be so sad if we lose the warriors.
エレン、俺はもう終わりにしたい。もう眠れ。
What's he doing? I was just screaming, right? Like, for the sake of screaming. I felt like he was trying to... Zeke. I thought maybe he was trying to summon Zeke, but... Where we promised to meet. Because they've had all this planned. They've known all about this. Big brother. Oh, don't. I don't think we're going to have Zeke for much longer. I feel as if somebody has to take Zeke's Titan at some point, but I don't think it would be Colt. It could end up being Falco, because Falco's going to have to take somebody's Titan in order to live the rest of his life. I think Falco's going to end up getting a Titan, but who's Titan, I don't know, especially because all the warriors are here now. So if we lose one of the warriors, it could end up being one of them. But I don't know. There's just something about Zeke that makes me think that Falco could end up getting Zeke's Titan. It's not exactly the Titan that he wanted. He wanted the Armor Titan. I think there's benefit to being the Beast Titan. It wasn't exactly the Titan that Zeke wanted either, but it's the one he ended up getting. And there's striking similarities between Falco and Zeke in terms of how much they've both struggled to prove themselves as worthy. But again, you could also argue the same for Rhino, because Rhino's very similar to Falco too. They both struggled to be recognized, and the Armored Titan technically wasn't supposed to be Rhino's. It was kind of thrust upon him because Marcel wanted to protect his brother, and it wasn't by choice that he inherited it. But Falco wanting the Armored Titan makes me think that he could potentially end up getting a Titan that he didn't necessarily ask for, but is a good fit for who he is as a person. Could end up being the Beast Titan. But Zeke won't die until the rumbling's triggered. We know that for a fact, but I think Zeke isn't making it out of Series 4. He's had some very close calls. I think his time will be up in the next couple of episodes once the rumbling's been triggered.
くそ、ジーク。奴のうなじを射抜く。方向を合わせろ。了解。
God, that arm is deadly.
いや、裏切り者は俺が裁く。しかし。
車力を発動しろ。
I can't lose Pete. I can't.
大変、的にされるぞ。
Oh my god, the music. Phenomenal. Are they gonna trigger it now?
静か、獣の方に。やはり2体の接触が目的なのか。
巨人は巨人の力に任せるしかない。俺たちには俺たちの戦いがある。俺は敵陣からファルコを救出する。お前は南にある撤退時の飛行船まで行くんだ。
いいや、私も行く。私はファルコを巻き込んだ。挙句
The
何
least
度
she
も
can
助けられ
do.
た。我先に逃げるなんてありえないの。
For once, she's learning.
開けろ。外で何が起きてるんだ。このまま死ぬのはごめんだぞ。
だが、君の帰りを待つ家族はいるんだろう。この気を逃したら一生帰れないぞ。俺はもう妻や娘
What
に
if
は会え
Zeke
ないだろう。
triggers
ジーク
the
が
pure
一つ叫ぶ
Titans
だけ
with
で
the scream?
化け物になる。
Now that he's here, they're all underneath, aren't they?
まだまだあったのにな。
Oh no.
死んだも当然だ。
We're gonna possibly lose Neil.
ここは我々
Niall, Neil, Niall.
勝手な真似は。キクが訓練兵。俺たちがイエーガー様を助けに行くのも命がけで阻止するつもりか。
Stand aside
全て
then.
のローを解除しろ。
Zeke's gonna trigger it. I know. I have a sinking feeling.
そうですかか。
コニーか。熊の相手をした。
ピクシー司令。
Oh, and then we'll lose
まだまだボケ
Pixies
て
as
おらん
well.
ぞ。ただ少々飲みすぎてしもうての。
Oh, if Zeke triggers it, they're gonna have to put everybody out of their misery.
ここにある立体起動装置には
Oh,
数
my
に
heart's
限り
not
があ
gonna
る。
be able to take it.
黒の腕章をつ
I'm
け
already
ていない
getting
者は
worked
優
up at
先
the
して装
idea.
備せよ。前線で侵略者を迎え撃つ。
嬉しいです。
I
ま
feel
た
like
同
it's
じ
a
志を持って
sacrifice.
あなたと一緒に戦えるなんて。そう。
She's not taking the
その
scarf
マフ
with
ラ
her.
ー置いていくんで
That's
すか。
unlike Makaza.
置いていく。
She's detaching herself from Eren emotionally. Wow. That's a big move for Mikasa to not take the scarf with her. It's almost like she's showing herself aligning with the others and not with Eren. Yelena, sit the fuck down, you weirdo. God.
ジークが船を落としました。
Just push her off.
歴史が変わる瞬間はもう間もなくです。
Just push her off the wall. She annoys me. The goal of the surprise attack is to retake the Founding Titan. It's unknown what conditions must be met to activate the Founding Titan's power, therefore it's critical to secure the Founding Titan before its power can be used. I don't know if the rumbling's happening this episode, because they're trying to get in between them, but we're definitely getting the rumbling soon. I think it's going to be a cliffhanger to the next episode. They're going to get so close and something's going to get in the way. Reiner. Ah! Maybe not. God damn it, Zeke.
今助けを必要としているのはライナーの方かな。
なんてジークがここに。リヴァイ兵長が奴に自由を与えるはずがねえ。兵長とハンチさんはどうなった？
ジークに敗れたと見るのが妥当でしょう。彼はエレンとの約束通りの時間に約束の場所に現れました。
Because Eren knew this was all gonna happen. Eren saw this was gonna happen.
残念だけど仕方がない。ジークとエレンが世界を救うためだ。僕たちもイエーガー派に加わり、二人の接触を支援しよう。
Like, that's my choice to say
エ
that.
レンとジークを助けてください。信じていますよ。
What the fuck was... It's like when you've disappointed your parents or you've said something that you shouldn't have said and your mom overhears you. What the fuck was that? I don't know. It was weird. It was like she either doesn't believe him and what he's saying, or she's pissed off that he's the one that's motivating them and not her. What the hell was that? What the fuck was that expression? I didn't expect that. Oh my god. I'm still like shocked by
ところ
her
で何なの
face.
この鉄パイプ。
街中火の海じゃないか。これじゃ逃げ場が。何言ってんだ。戦え。
Zeke's gonna trigger them. Oh, he's gonna see Falco.
見つかった。
He's gonna tell him to run, isn't he?
そうか。
He wants to see his daughters, so therefore he wants Falco the opportunity to have the opportunity to go home. Sorry, I can't get the words out. Oh, he's gonna shoot him, but he's doing this to reunite them. Look at GABI restraining him.
家に帰るんだ。
行くぞ。ナイルさん、ありがとう。
He said he wanted the opportunity to see his family and probably wouldn't, so he wants Falco to have that choice. Not choice, that chance. I can't speak.
ガビ、どうして敵を信じたんだ？
いや、
Because she's learning that they're not the monsters she thinks they are.
いやでも
I can't believe I'm crying over that.
あん二人なら大丈夫やろ。たくましいなき。
どうしてお姉ちゃんを殺したやつのことなんか心配するの？私は殺してやりたい。
She's getting lost in the forest. But they forgave you, GABI. Sasha would have forgiven you too. She's learning.
もう言ったみたいだ。
She's shown the capacity for change. I think people are far too harsh on GABI in this
悪魔なんてい
fandom.
なかった。
No, they're just
この
people.
島には人がいるだけ。
She's unlearning it.
ライナーの気持ちが分かって。
I don't understand how people can hate her. Like, she's just a kid.
見たわけ
And
で
she's
もない
unlearning
人
it
た
and
ちを
she's
一方的に悪魔だと
changing.
決めつけて。ずっと同じことを。ずっと同じことを繰り返してる。
病院の少尉軍人がエレン・イェーガーだと知らずに手紙を区外のポストから彼の仲間に送り続けて
He didn't know.
レベリオで大勢殺された。だからウドとソフィアも俺のせいで死んだ。あとお前が好きだ。お前に鎧の巨人を継承してほしくないから戦士候補生になった。俺と結婚してずっと幸せでいるためにお前に長生きしてほしかった。
Oh, Falco. Why do I feel like he's not gonna get what he hopes and dreams for?
何言ってんの？
Because he might never have another opportunity.
もう言い残すことはねえ。
行こう。
お前が脊髄液を飲んだことをジークさんが知れば叫びを阻止できるかもしれない。
I don't think it will. I don't think he cares. Just like he tore her armband off, she tore his off because he's more than just that. Oh my god, this episode has destroyed me. Oh, Porco.
エレン、もうすぐだ。あともう少しで俺たちの夢が叶う。
車力の巨人、そんなところでやられたのか、ピークちゃん。
That can't be real,
た
right?
と思ったんだが誰が仕留めた？
No, it's not
お
real.
前らがやったんだ。
I was gonna say,
一発限りの騙し討ちですよ。
Peak, my girl, she's okay.
エレン！獣としては接触させるな！この世で一番それを思っちゃいけねえのは
He has to keep pushing forward.
お前だ。
That's his angle.
ピークに急げ。奴に少しでも命があるんだろ。
He's gonna scream. He's gonna scream. I know it. I can feel it. And then Falco's done for. Oh my god, this episode has like absolutely wrecked me. Absolutely emotionally destroyed. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to think. Falco admitting that all he ever wanted to do was marry GABI and for her to live a long life. He didn't want her to become a Titan because then they would never get to have a future together. But now they're probably never going to have a future together because if he screams and becomes a pure Titan, the only solution is to put him out of his misery unless he can consume someone with the ability. Zeke is down for the count on the floor, but he's not going to go out without a fight. He's going to scream. And he's going to use the pure Titans as a distraction, as a way for them to be able to move forward so that they can trigger the rumbling. I just emotionally can't handle what's happening. I don't want any of them to die, which is really hard. I don't want Porco to die. I don't want Reiner to die. I don't want Pete to die. I don't want Eren to die. Zeke, I'm conflicted about, but I also don't want Pixie to die. I don't want Niall to die. I don't want Falco to die. Whereas the fact that if they all turn, there's not enough intelligent Titans, so we're gonna lose so many people. We're gonna lose Pixies. We're gonna lose Niall. Potentially Falco. Emotionally, I'm not ready for that. My heart is gonna break when that happens. And I think that's gonna happen next episode because I think he's gonna scream. Honestly, I'm already a wreck. This is not even funny. And GABI is learning, she's changing. I get that people are angry at her because she killed their favorite character, but the fact that she stopped Colt from killing Niall because she recognized that there was more to it than him tying up Falco, she wanted to give him the opportunity to reveal what he was doing. She trusted that they were more than just monsters. She trusted that there was more to it than just him dragging Falco away. The fact that she's able to finally admit that everything she knew was a lie and find kinship with Reiner, that she can finally understand what it was that he went through when he was here. The realization that they're not monsters, that they've been taught all their lives to hate these people, that they're monsters, that they should be erased when they're just people like yourself. They don't deserve any of this. They don't deserve to be treated this way. They don't deserve to be punished for the past. And GABI's understanding that. How anyone could hate GABI past this point, I don't get it. She's had one of the best character changes in this show. She has fundamentally shown what it means to be brainwashed, to be ideologically subsumed into this narrative that they are evil, they are the devils. And she's also then shown you how in interacting with people we see as other, we can become changed. We can become open to understanding that our bias isn't the truth, that we become more open to working together and establishing a relationship with one another rather than just seeing them as the enemy. She's able to find connection with them in a way she was never able to do before. And she wasn't able to do it before because she's never met them. She's been trapped in Marley. She's been trapped in this perspective that's been drummed into her by her family, drummed into her by the government, drummed into her by the soldiers. She doesn't know any better because she's also a child, and people go, oh, well, Falco's not like that, because they're different people. They're fundamentally different. You can't expect people to behave identically because they are complex individuals. Also, Falco comes from a family that were connected to restorationists. That gives the hint that his family probably were not as strict in enforcing this bias narrative. Whereas we know for a fact that GABI's family does enforce this narrative because Reiner had similar views to GABI that were unlearned when he spent 4 years with them in the cadets. Likewise, GABI has now gone through a similar trajectory to Reiner. They both come from the same family, both had the same ideology drummed into them, and both have had the opportunity to learn and grow as people. People sit and whine about complex characters, and yet you can't even handle GABI, who is probably one of the most complex, interesting figures in Attack on Titan, and people sit and hate her because she killed Sasha. Yes, it's awful that she killed Sasha, absolutely devastating, but it doesn't mean that she's not a good character. It doesn't mean that she doesn't have the capacity to learn and change and grow. And this whole idea of hating her for something that Sasha would have forgiven her for, that Sasha's family has forgiven her for, it's just genuinely crazy to me. If Sasha's family can show forgiveness and care and concern because they're able to recognize that this was a consequence of war, that like Sasha, GABI was also lost in this forest. GABI had adult responsibilities placed on her shoulders far before she was ever ready to deal with the emotional consequences of them. They understand that she's also a victim in this. Sasha's a victim, GABI's also a victim. Both of them were lost in the forest, and this is what happens as a result. Revenge leads to revenge. If Sasha's parents can forgive her, why are people still hell-bent on hating her? And as I said, people will complain about not having complex characters, but they can't handle a character who is complex without degrading her, without speaking bad about her, all the whilst refusing to also acknowledge the growth and the potential that she's shown to unlearn those narratives. Niall absolutely devastates me. He wanted to see his family, he wants to see his daughters, because there's things that he wants to tell them that he knows he's never going to have the opportunity to say again. And recognizing that Falco's brother is here, wants to give Falco that chance to be with his brother, even if it's short-lived, even if it's only for a small while. He's given them something that he's never going to get himself. He's given him a chance, but given him the opportunity to speak with GABI and his brother and to tell them things that he may never get the opportunity to say again if Zeke screams. What the fuck was up with Yelena's face? Sorry, I'm still not over that. That was just so random. Armin's saying we've got to help the Jaegerists bring them together. And Yelena's just looking at him with this like hate-filled expression. And I almost have to wonder if she maybe realizes that Armin's kind of playing the field, making it seem like he believes this, but doesn't necessarily believe it. I don't know if Armin does fundamentally believe it, or if he's just saying what he thinks Yelena wants to hear, and Yelena possibly recognizes that, and that's why she lets her real expression show for a minute before hiding it behind a facade. I think she's clocked Armin because it's just so random. It's so weird, especially when Armin was speaking in support of Yelena's plan. Please help Zeke and Eren. I believe in you. I think she thinks he's lying, that she knows he's trying to manipulate the situation. And Mikasa leaving the scarf behind. She's severing those emotional ties with Eren. That codependency that she has, it's beginning to lessen. She's becoming independent and establishing her own identity beyond the connection to Eren. Because that scarf's kind of become a symbol of her and Eren's relationship, of her acknowledgement of his sacrifice, but also that he is her home, that he is what brings her comfort. Wherever Eren is home for her. So to leave that behind is almost symbolic of her gaining some independence, some freedom from that emotional connection with him, because she's establishing her own identity rather than the identity that's tied up with Eren and her indebtedness to Eren. I really don't have much to say, solely because I want to watch the next episode, because I'm kind of hooked here. I need to see what happens next. It's left on a bit of a cliffhanger, and I think if this episode has emotionally destroyed me, I think the next episode is going to absolutely crush my heart and soul, because I think Zeke is going to scream. I think Zeke doesn't really have much of a choice, because Magif has put him in such a dangerous position that he needs to use the pure titans that are hidden essentially within the bodies of the police. Well, they're not hidden because everybody knows about it now, but he's going to turn them into pure titans to act as a distraction to allow him and Eren to touch so they can trigger the rumbling. I am not going to be emotionally ready for the next episode, I don't think. I didn't expect this episode to crush me as much as it did. I thought this episode was just going to be another action-packed one, that it was going to be a short one because there wasn't much to talk about. I didn't think I was going to be emotionally brutalized, and based on the conversations that were had here and based on the vulnerable position that Zeke is in, oh boy, we are going to be in for a rough time next episode, because we have Zeke saying rely on your big brother. So we have the two brothers of Zeke and Eren, but we also have another set of brothers. We have Colt and Falco. And even now, Colt has so much trust and faith in Zeke. He still has so much admiration for him that he genuinely believes that Zeke wouldn't do it if he knew that Falco had drunk some of the spinal fluid. And I don't think Zeke would allow that to hold him back. I really don't. Which is awful to say, but I genuinely think Zeke would just see that as a casualty, as a consequence of what needs to be done. That wouldn't stop him. So we have two sets of brothers that are about to undergo hardship, that are about to undergo devastation and potential loss of each other, because Eren could lose Zeke. Not that it's shown that they've been particularly close, but Zeke does seem to really care for Eren in terms of saying you can rely on your big brother, showing that there is that emotional sentimentality, at least on Zeke's side, that Zeke trusts him beyond all doubt, even though I think Eren's been manipulating the situation to get what he wants. But we also have Falco and Colt, who have done everything they can to care for one another and protect one another. Colt has put so much on the line to protect Falco time and time again, and this will be the one thing he can't protect his baby brother from. So yeah, we have Falco and Colt and Eren and Zeke who are going through it, and yeah, I'm not ready for the next episode, I don't think. But I'm going to take a moment to collect myself. I'm going to watch the next episode, If you enjoyed this react, please consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment below to help boost this video into the algorithm. And until next episode, bye!